Hello Runescape, Visit here with a new video, and how is everyone doing? Power Duo Players was released in April 2014, also this year, and it's basically an update where you as a player can run around and vote for future content that Jagex puts out in these special content polls. And together with me to discuss exactly this and how it's changed RuneScape, I have a few great players. Well, minus one great player because he doesn't play RuneScape, which is going to be like a plot twist in the entire thing. But with me, I have Toy Mouse, Troll464, CS1, and Denny. Do you guys want to say hello?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Awesome. Okay, so, Part 2 players, how has it changed RuneScape since April, well, January 2014? Come on, go, someone.
Okay, who wants to get hated first?
You badger.
Oh, should I begin?
Yes.
Yep.
Luke, please help me out here.
Good
How
luck.
can I get hated? Oh well, thank
Good
you.
luck.
Well, the power to the players had to be probably the best thing that could ever happen? Question mark? No, it's not. It's probably the worst thing that it could ever happen.
Why?
Why? Because the votes that everyone does is just basically stupid. I'm not saying that all of you guys are stupid. I know I'm gonna get hated on, but who the hell picks a divine familiar that can hold more divine memories? It doesn't affect your experience at all.
Okay.
Celebrate them both.
So you're pretty much just raging on the options that there is.
No, I'm not raging on the options.
He's not raging on the options. He's
Well,
raging on
what people vote on the options.
Basically, they don't read what the options do. They're just like, oh, this one is the highest one. It must be the best one ever. Like with the crystal flask that the vote is going on right now. Luke, do you want to talk about that? Because you may love this one.
every PVMer hates what everyone's voting for.
Mm-hmm.
A combined potion, the diamond poll that's going on right now. Well, by the time this fits up, it's going to be ending. But the diamond poll that's currently up has crystal flasks. They're going to come out with Elven City, and we have the option of choosing: do you want 8 doses, buffed potions, or combined potions? And I think there's another one. I don't want any. But everyone's choosing combined potions, thinking that's better than 8 dose and buffed potions, which I feel like is the worst option out of all of them. Like, I would even don't pick any of these over that, because that doesn't help. That maybe saves you 1 inventory space, but that's it. How's that even useful? But
I mean,
no
the
one's
only
reading
way I
it.
could see it being useful if you combine an Sardomin brew with the super restore. But that's the only thing that I would find useful at that. But the Sardomin brew heals nothing. It's only 500. Yes, it doesn't drain your adrenaline when you heal. But still, wouldn't it be better if you could have a better healing effect rather than just
like if they buff the potions, brews.
Well, to be fair, isn't this kind of your opinion though, rather than what's actually good?
No, well, I mean, this is an opinion for all PVMers that do high level content, like not even high, like most, even Slayer tasks. You would rather take buffed potions. I can tell you right now, all the votes for the buff potions are people who actually, kill monsters on RuneScape, don't just skill. No offense to skillers, but everyone in the PVM community wants the buff potions, but everyone not reading the combined potions thinks that the combination's going to be some kind of a form of buffing the potions, but all it's going to do is just combine potions, which is completely useless. But no one's reading the power to the players, and everyone's voting on it, and it's just it's terrible. No one's like reading it at all.
We get the options to vote on something good here, but people don't technically read it. Great.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. What?
I was just going to say, just to add on top of that, one of the things I noticed when the vote for the Crystal Flax came out was that people were just saying like, oh, vote for combined potions, and you'll combine an overload with an overload to make a powerful overload. That's already one of the options, improving a potion, but they think voting for combined potions will give you that anyway. So.
Yeah.
Just to think about it though, just saying, what potions could you combine together? I mean, we already have the Overload that pretty much combines every combat stat and stays.
Yeah, Overload cancels out certain brews, so
yeah,
you can
like
brew up and you're
Zamorak brew and Saradama brew and see where that takes you. That could be.
But that would literally drain your HP and cancel out the brew, which would heal you 20 life points. So that would be completely pointless.
It's still kind of funny though. But I notice what you mean, where people don't necessarily read
Yeah.
what it says, because like I've talked about this in so many videos before about the skilling resets and things like that. And when that was announced, it said in the chat box that skillers would be able to get a reset. But so many people still got confused and asked about videos, friend chat, and PM and the various chats like, will skillers actually be able to get a reset? And that just proves that people don't necessarily read what the description of it is. They just kind of see the overlay, the head title, and think that's going to be it.
They skim over what it's telling you and don't read between the lines, like your reset thing. I saw that on the forums and I was like, okay, I get what this is actually going at. But I still have people that are they're gonna come back when Legacy's coming out and they're like, am I gonna be able to reset my stats to what I want? And I'm like, no, it's not working like you're planning. Right now they're not even focused on attack, strength, defense. They're just focused on prayer and HP.
Yeah. Okay, so
now that is sorry, but yeah, that is due to change. It's just right now they're just focusing on prayer and constitution.
Yeah. Another thing I want to mention is misconceptions. For example, we had the skiller boss versus the combat boss, and people didn't necessarily want to vote for the skiller boss. Well, some of them at least didn't want to vote for skiller boss because they thought there was a boss purely made for those that limit themselves in the game, like I do as being skiller. And obviously that's wrong. Like, it's not that what it's about. It's basically use your skills to defeat the monster. It's not a boss made specifically for those that limit themselves. And I think some people don't necessarily read up on that and figure out that this is not what you originally would think it is. So misconceptions and not necessarily understanding what could be good for the game logic. I think that might be the issue for some of the voters from what we have discussed so far. So
yeah, but I mean it's partially, I wouldn't say it's purely all Jagex' fault, but when they put the voting poll out, they kind of make it one-sided, where like skilling versus non-skilling boss. I mean, combat versus skilling. Instantly combat's gonna win.
Well, to be fair though, I think the Jagex is doing a really good job when it gets to these things, because they do raise a lot of interesting things that you might want all of them. For example, with the current poll regarding website features, you have like the high scores on you know, for countries or Adventures Log remake and stuff like that, or Forum remake for that case. Personally, I want all of those, and I think that those are all pretty cool ideas. And the same thing with combat and skiller boss. Like, I don't really mind having both of them, but one of them is just likely to win. So I think the Jagex is doing a really great job in picking up like things to feature in the various polls and whatever, but it's not necessarily what should win that actually wins.
Well, aren't they? I don't know if I know the polls are to vote for something, but I'm pretty sure that even with the combat boss winning, they'll still bring the skiller boss. I think what I just realized is the power of the players was also a voting thing. That what do you want as our first priority? Do you want, you know, this to take priority over this? But later on in the game, you know, we'll bring this out as well. Just right now, what do you want us to focus on?
Yeah.
So maybe, you know, skilling boss will come out eventually, just not as soon as the new combat boss.
I think one of the big issues with power to the player can be summed up by an old quote, which basically from Henry Ford, which said, if I asked the people what they wanted, they would have said they wanted a faster horse. In a case of people right now, when they see a vote like combat boss versus skiller boss, they want more the same, they don't want to try something new. Like, they like the combat bosses in the game, so they go for the combat boss and won't even consider giving the skilling boss a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they particularly did it with the evolution of combat. People hated it even though they tried something new. There was no vote for it, no nothing, and yet here we are today.
Well, to be fair, we had the beta on it, and people could go on there and say exactly what they meant, and it would take action on it. Proper feedback did get genuine responses. Like, those who commented this is bad. Obviously, that's not good feedback, and obviously, those didn't get listened to.
But the thing about that, the way why it was rushed, because nobody gave any feedbacks.
Exactly, and that's what
the
I
game,
think is very
hence-
important to do.
Of course,
Yeah,
when the people.
that's why when they're the new 130 combat calculations and the damage soaking that's coming out, it's really good that they're keeping the beta around so we can actually test it, run it, test it, you know, tell us
Yeah.
what's wrong, tell us what's working. And that's really, really smart. Like, they should have done that with USC, where they should have had a little bit more testing, but it's been out for what, over a year now? So it's doing pretty well now.
Yeah, at the moment it's
the
kind of
problem
good from what I
was
can
not
gather.
only. I'm just gonna go off topic to this power to the players. As you can see, people say that the EOC was rushed. Question is, yes, it was. But why was it rushed? It wasn't because people weren't giving enough feedback to fix all the problems that it had. Some weapons were overpowered and some weapons were just useless. To this day, we still have weapons that are useless, like the defenders. They don't give us anything, except, oh, look at me, I can dual wield a defender and hit something with it. But the point still stands, because why they rushed it to the live game was because that it would make people actually play the game and give feedback to Jagex. This is broken, fix.
Yeah.
Because it's only
Yeah.
a few things that the QA testers can do. They can't do everything. If there's like 50 to 100,000 players playing the game, they can easily find bugs and report it to Jagex.
Okay, fair enough. Any comments on that?
Focusing back on the power of the players, I know we're ranting about it, but there's one thing I actually like about it, and that's when Heist came out, Jagex got to properly choose, you know, how Heist works and how it was done. We didn't get to choose that, and we just got to pick a specific thing we unlocks with, you
map.
know, the location of being Cannon Fist.
It's kind of like additions to the minigame, but not necessarily how it works.
Yeah, it doesn't affect the minigame. It just gives you a little, you know, what kind of area would you like to see this minigame in? And those kind of polls are amazing. Like, what's your high score thing?
Yeah, I like those quite a lot.
The Dragonstone poll right now, the adventure log thing winning. That's a really good poll because that's not going to affect our gameplay or, you know, the future content. It's going to just help you know, what do players want to see first? You want to see an updated adventures log, updated forums, updated high school, you know.
Yeah.
And that's good.
I like that quite a lot.
More polls like that, and, you know, that's power to the players.
And I really like it, as I said, I like the part to players quite a lot because it gives players the option to feel included in how the game is developed, and I think that's quite important to create a strong community, at least between the players and Jagex. So that's obviously a pretty good thing as well. But Denny, you don't play RuneScape. What do you think of a community where the players will be able to choose what content gets created in the game?
Well, I mean, I've been in many different communities, right? So I was like, every developer should listen to their community and take every meaning into consent. Like, what?
But yeah, I see what you mean by that. By the key developers need to take a look on what the players really want. But then again, also limit on what the players want. Something may just they could just
put limitations to the voting.
Well, we'll take
the Elven City.
Well, taking down his concept a little bit better here, like. I think it's a big difference about reading forums, what players might want, and actually let them directly vote on what's actually going to be in the game at all times. So, like, I think every developer obviously reads the comments that are on their game and be like, yeah, this is what they want, this is what they don't like, maybe we can fix that if we have time for it. But, like, the part of players is directly giving players the chance to vote for future content, and, like, no matter what you vote for, the winning option will be in the game. What do you think of that?
Yeah. That's a really good concept, but the problem with the forums, and I know JMods read the forums, and that's good and all, but the only problem with the forums is people are greedy. They want things that just would completely destroy the game.
Yeah, of course. But like,
no one, you know, you don't see anybody saying, "Oh, just add a couple basic abilities." Everyone's just like, "I want an ultimate that one hits everything in the game." Everyone's just constantly
like
begging
the
for
devotion.
something better.
Like the version 20 seconds. That thing was
Yeah.
overpowered, basically.
Yeah, but like those votes should be about like something major in the game.
Well, some of them are quite like pretty. The first poll was out was between an entirely new skill or a new massive anticipated city.
Yeah.
And that's like
And that was a
massive
great
things.
poll.
But at the moment, it's kind of like smaller polls, like what do you want to see in the like the city one for since you probably don't know that. But like at the moment, you're voting for like what do you want to see in this city, what should be here, what should be the focus on it, and kind of letting players develop the entire city in that way. And I think that's also a pretty good thing to do. Even though like you see with the crystal flask and everything, the decisions might not be as good as it could
the crystal weapons.
Yeah, but I think that at least players get to feel that they're feeling included in this.
I know the crystal things are going to win first, but maybe over time they'll add the rest of the crystal, 8 those in the buffed potions as well. Maybe it won't just be, hopefully it won't just be the combined potions. So that'll be.
But Jagex can
that'd be great.
Surprise us in different ways.
Yeah, they've surprised us before.
I mean, like the flask potions, they thought to be overpowered, but then they realized they just get destroyed after you drink the last dose. It isn't good money making as it was before, but it's just a small daily thing you can do.
Yeah, I mean it still averages 300k a day, so that's pretty good. Well, 300k if you have a secondary location unlocked, but so it's like 200k for other players.
Yeah. Okay, so going on here, part 2 players, you know its flaws. What could be better? Let's say that you have the entire control here. You can do whatever you want to change the part 2 players to make it better for an entire game. What would you do?
Basically, you go ahead, Luke.
I would just focus on instead of making the polls like weapons, armor, and bosses and stuff. I know that's important and everything, but more of just like, what do you want added into the location? Like Elven City polls, like, what skills do you want? Stuff like that's really good polls. But like on the Elven City weapons, they want, what kind of weapons do you want? And everybody was like, anticipated for the halberd. But right now, they want something else.
Yeah.
Instead of having weapons and,
Just gonna say, everyone might disagree with me on this, but I think one of the better things they could do with Palace of the Players is like what they did with the Runefest poll a while ago, where they said, where do you want to host it? And New York won, but even though it won, they still went with the UK. And I think Palace of the Players should be a bit like that, where they can gauge interest in something, but Jagex should still have the final say over it.
Yeah.
I would like that too. To be honest, the company should always have the final say.
Well, to be fair, I think that all of the options you see there are kind of the final and say, like, whatever happens, we're happy with that.
Yeah, but
because, I just think
if you think about it, for all you know, like what the winning option might be, like for example, the crystal flask at the moment with the double doses. Well, whatever, the mixed thing. That could actually be what Jagex figured out was actually going to be added into the game, but then they figured out, hey, let's pull this instead. So, like, it could be worse than what we actually see.
Yeah.
I think it could be better as well. It just, right now, it's just time pretty much. We can't really, combined potions could be what he said earlier, overload makes a stronger overload. But it could also just be, combined Ceratum and brew with a super restore. We just don't know exactly.
I would say it would be something like, you can combine
it's going to be something completely pointless, which is...
Like, why would you do that?
And kind of upset with.
Yeah, it's just like inventory saver. That's all.
Basically, yeah. The way I see how you can combine potion is probably a melee potion and a strength potion. There you go. Combination. Woo.
Wait, melee potion and strength. Yeah, okay. What?
I mean, attack potion and.
Okay. Yeah.
Attack potion and a strength potion, like making an.
We're not mixing dunge potions with real potions.
Oh, shut up.
Okay, so just taking what Luke said about rather than voting on the big things, like vote on the small things. For example, with the skiller
Yeah.
boss, you could rather vote like what kind of creature it would be or where it would be located.
Yeah, what kind
things
of,
like that.
you know, where would you look, the location, like, Elven, you know, the Elven city, if they weren't going to build an elf city, where would you like the next city to be built, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Nothing that affects the game's economy, I would say, and just, you know, gives you the players an option of where do you want this, you know, location to be placed.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Or
good thing.
what-
I really
what
like
do
that
you
idea.
want?
You know what I would do, like that they did, like a combination, like they would pull the skiller boss and the PVM boss. Like what a third option of combining them both, basically. You have to have a skiller
A
in your
skilling combat
party.
boss.
So you mean a bit like a Barb Assault thing, where you need a skiller to do a load of
Yeah.
skills, but like
Yeah,
someone else to fight
something
things
like
off?
that. The boss is focused on the, like,
Oh.
the high levels, while the skillers have to do something.
I
I'm
would
not
like that
saying-
quite a lot.
That would be great, because we could combine both communities in one. Basically,
That would be
skillers
interesting.
and
Yeah.
PVMers. While the PVMers are taking the attention away from the boss, the skiller is supposed to do something.
That
Like,
could actually work
they-
quite well. For example,
Um,
with like, let's say
That
there's a
sounds
big
like a
boss.
really good idea.
Like, let's say there's like a big boss with various like healing obelisks around in the center or something like that. And
Yeah.
if like the combaters doesn't kind of focus on the boss, then it will attack whoever's trying to
Provoking.
destroy the healing obelisks.
Now that would be something interesting.
That
like
would be quite
skillers.
good, to be fair. J-Mods,
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty fun.
It does
I
actually.
mean, come on, just think about it. The skillers are trying to help us, while we PVMers are just taking away the boss from the
Yeah.
skillers.
I would like that.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
so
that
epic.
would be that would be combining communities.
No, now I'm getting excited or something that's not gonna happen probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Drusell, there
Like-
you go. There's something to work on.
On your free time, Crystal, I'll meet you at Runefest.
Does anyone have something to say before we move on to Troll's great idea to improve the third party
Post
place?
out all the forms and everything. Let's get that through, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, but like what you were just talking about is like the polls should be more about how the boss fight should be, or rather than what creature it should be, right? It's
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
would be better than like
That would,
Yeah,
I think
they
that
could-
would
that could
really
work
solve
better.
a lot of things. Like they even announced the skiller boss at Runefest. Like, I think it's kind of cheap to take that away now. So yeah, but I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
trust Jagex at what they do. I think that what they do is planned out and they kind of have, they know what they're doing. So if they if they say something, I kind of be like, okay, fair enough. Okay, I'll go with that.
yeah.
The way I
Yeah.
would do the votes, I wouldn't really go. Yes, I would put them in game as well, but I would rather post a thread on the main page explaining what the different votes do. I mean, sure, I can
Yeah.
go click here and go into the voting settings, but it's just a small text. You just read
Like,
what it says.
When World Event 2 came out, Devotion, Rejuvenate, and Sacrifice, they told you the ability and what it would do. If they would post, like, you know, kind of like a behind the scenes, it'd be like, in this voting poll this week, this vote will, you know, this is everything this vote will do, this is everything this vote will do, this is everything this vote will do, which one do you want to vote on now? And that'll give players, you know, an option to read it and actually vote properly on it, instead of just running on the voting polls, clicking one and then not voting until the next polls come out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Any more comments?
No.
I think it just really boils down to Jagex are a game company and we are not, so I trust their decision more than I trust the player's decision.
I do too, in
Yeah.
all honesty.
Yeah.
To some degree, at least.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on the
Always
developer.
Yeah.
Not Chris,
Like-
I'll make the boss happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can have me if you can make that boss.
Wow. Okay.
You can have all of us.
Banjo.
All of
Let's
us, all
let's
of
keep
us.
it PG. Keep it PG, Banjo.
If you're under 18, you don't get in.
You don't care.
Okay, let's not go there. Okay. Great. Try to think of more questions here or something to bring up. I feel like there's still more to touch on that we haven't really touched on. Every time we do a podcast, there's always this one guy in the comments that brings up like a massive topic we didn't mention at all. It's kind of like typical. But I think we got covered most of it. We have 25 minutes in, so it's a nice time for a decent podcast. So unless one of you have something more to bring up, then we can head towards
Yeah,
an end.
my question real quick is, can free to play even vote in the poll thing?
Yeah.
Or is it just pay to play?
Yeah, they can.
Okay, good.
But I think it's
That's
like after a
just-
certain, I was about to say graduation date, but that's wrong. But like a certain time after they registered their total level or something like that, I think. So people can't really create that new
Okay, well
accounts.
that's fair. I mean, at least they get to vote. I thought they didn't even get to vote at all.
Well, to be fair, we're like, yeah, this members content. What do you want?
Yeah, that would be that's
Get out.
kind of
Get out. I'm joking.
well, yeah. There should be more polls based on free to play as well. There's like been no free to play updates at all.
Yeah, that's true. I really want that, but I was just planning to talk about that in a future video. But we'll
Yeah.
save that for later. Free to play, guys. It's important stuff.
It
But
is important.
We're coming for you guys.
yeah, I'm coming for you.
We
Find you.
love you, people. Even though you can have bonds and everything, but we still love you.
Sure. Why not?
Sure.
Well,
I mean, they need it.
yeah.
I'm gonna go off topic, but no, I'm not
Go
gonna do
ahead.
that. So later podcast, I guess. if we
Yes,
do
yes,
one
let's
on
do that. Well, yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below what you think of Power Tutorial players. What you think would be great to change shit to make it better and greater to make the perfect content get out in the game. My name is Will Miss It. You guys can say goodbye to the great people of the video.
I'm Troll464.
I'm Toy Mouse.
And goodbye,
I'm Sky the
everyone.
Kid RS.
I'm just a random gamer.
You don't pay me enough for this.